What you're about to watch is a special private training session for people who bought a copy of my book, Built to Serve. Enjoy. I started this group because I wanted you guys to get action from the book, right? So it's not just reading another book, but you actually did something on it. I know we've all bought books that just kind of sit on the shelf, and I'm going to get to that one day. You like the idea of doing it, but then you don't actually pick it up, or you read it and then you're all inspired, but then you move on to the next book. Or what happens when you're done reading the book, the energy kind of leaves. So I wanted to have this group for you guys to connect to each other and meet other readers and other people on a mission, but also hopefully ensure that you're actually making some progress on the things that you know you're capable of doing. So anyway, that's the point of this group, and it's been pretty fun, at least for me, hopefully for you guys. So the question that you guys voted on was from Corey Reed, who I see in the house here, who said how to come up with ideas for unique, high quality content. So I've made over 10,000 videos. been making YouTube videos since 2009, and for me, it's always a mix between what do I want to do, what am I passionate about, with what is there demand for. And it's always at that intersection that you're going to win. I could love the idea of doing a readers group. It's like, hey, everybody who bought the book, why don't we do a Facebook group? Or why don't we do a call and invite people in? I could love that idea. But if nobody shows up, it's not much of an idea, right? And for other people, there's lots of authors you could suggest this to say, hey, your readers would love doing something like this. But if the author doesn't like it, then there's no point in doing it. So it's always in that combination of what do you love doing with where is there demand? Because if you love it, but there's no interest, there's no demand, you've got a hobby. And the hobby can be a fulfilling hobby and fills your soul to do it, but it's not a business. And if you're only chasing opportunity, you're going to get burnt out and not like it because you don't enjoy the thing. Every successful person I've studied, which has been many over the years, the number one rule for success they have is that they love the thing. They love the process. Like, I like being here with you guys. This doesn't work for me. I don't see it on my calendar as a stressor. It's yeah, baby, let's go talk to insiders. Let's make it happen. I'm pumped for it. So that combination, right? What you love with where there's demand. So inside of that, how do you get some ideas? Step number one, I would go look at other people who are in your industry. So there's nobody who is doing exactly what you want to do, but there's people who are kind of close to it. There's people who have done similar things. So if I'm looking at my industry, I might look to Tony Robbins or Gary Vee or Grant Cardone or Brendan Burchard or any of those people who have content. Go to their channels, and two things. One, look at what their most popular pieces of content are. So look at their YouTube channel, sort by most popular and see what their top videos are. Go to their Instagram and see which ones, although Instagram is turning it off. Have you guys been seeing that? Maybe it's a Canada thing. You can't see likes anymore on an Instagram. So that might be a little harder, but you can look at, I think you can still see comments. Look at what posts got the most engagement, on their accounts, right? And make your version of it. So if Brendan Burchard's biggest video is how to overcome your deepest fears, great. You make your version of that. Same title, just make your version of it. So you can get inspiration from the other people's channels. The other thing is look at the comments. So look at the YouTube comments, the Instagram comments from these other people. You might not have comments on your stuff yet, right? I mean, if you have comments on your stuff, then great. Tap into what comments you're getting. My first video, I had 3 comments in the first year, and it was my mom, my older sister, and then some random person. So I cherished every comment, but I wasn't getting a lot of comments at the beginning. So you make it about what they're leaving comments on other people's channels. Gary Vee is not responding to everybody's comments. Tony Robbins is not responding to everybody's comments. Mel Robbins is not responding to everybody's comments. And in there, people will ask questions. They'll say, hey, how do I do this? Great video, Mel. How do I do this? She's not responding to it. You can be the person who then responds to it, right? So again, it has to be, there's demand for it because people are asking the question, do you actually want to answer that question, right? And in that combination is where you're going to win. So leveraging what is already working for other people, doing your spin on it, and then can I authentically connect to this message or not? And in that combination, you'll find winning topics. You have to remember in this process of creating content that there's only, there's not a million different topics. A lot of people feel like, oh, I'm going to repeat myself. I'm going to repeat myself. I said the same thing. I already made a video last week on that. I'm saying the same thing. Listen, I've made over 10,000 videos. How many videos on belief can you make? Like whatever you're stressing out about making the same video, I've probably dealt with it many, 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 many times. The key things to remember are, one, the person who has watched a video, this new one, doesn't mean they've seen the old one. Just because you've made it before, it doesn't mean that they've seen it before. So for most of the people who watch my videos, it's still new people all the time. So you have to enjoy the teaching even more than the subject matter, right? So like, think about the great teachers that you had in school. You had a great teacher. You may not have had a lot of great teachers, but there's one or two teachers that really stand out in high school, university that you went through. Why were they so great? Well, they really loved the students because they're teaching the same thing. Like teaching grade 8 math is the same grade 8 math every year for 20 years. How do you not get sick of that and want to go, well, because it's not about the material. They love the teaching, and it's new students all the time. So that's what you have to think about, is you may have made the video before, but they haven't seen it. So it's new students coming in. It's new people getting exposed to your message. Two, just because they got it before, even if they did watch it, a small percentage of people might have watched it before. It doesn't mean that now they get it. And now they're all in like, oh my gosh, I got it. I don't want to ever see this again, right? If you make a video about how to have more confidence, great. So now they watch that one video and all of a sudden they have unstoppable confidence and never need to hear the message again, right? Like they need your voice as a constant reminder. You represent something to them. You represent hope and possibility, and they don't have enough of that in their life. So they need you every day to show up and create something, right? And then the third thing that I find really helps is I just try to always, as much as possible, tell a relevant story. Because I can get tired of telling the same story over and over and over and over and over again. I could talk about when I was 19 and have my first business and all of that stuff. And I'm still happy to tell those stories, but I like the challenge of trying to come up with something in the past week that's happened. So I film on Tuesdays. That's my YouTube filming day. And whenever I'm making content, I'll always try to think of what's happened in the past week where I've dealt with this. And sure, I could talk about my tour and how I broke my neck and Brendan Burchard stage and all of these things. But has anything happened in the past week that's been around the same theme? And if I can do that, then that's what I'll share. And it's a nice challenge for me. And it's a challenge for you as a speaker, a content creator, or thought leader to try to have something new. Because those themes keep coming up. So that's how you can make 10,000 videos around believe and just keep going and making more and making more and making more. So that's my hot take on the subject, how to come up with ideas for unique, high quality content by Corey Reed. And now I want to turn it over to you guys. How can I help? What do we got? We got some time together. Let's make it count. Lady Lexi. All right, come on in.
I finally got to record videos again. But
I like it.
I created a 25-minute video. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to edit it, all that stuff. I'm going to see if later in the week I can chop it up in little bits and post it elsewhere on social media. But I was like, okay, I think I got the structure, but 25 minutes, isn't that too long?
No, not if it's good. Listen, I think it's...
I don't know if it's good.
Well, if it's a YouTube video, your audience retention curve will tell you if it's good, right? It's not my opinion or not if it's good. You see if people watch or not. But long is one of the top strategies I'm giving to the names that you love and know. Long form is everybody's thinking short, YouTube shorts, Instagram reels, short. In thought leadership, it's the opposite. Long. 25 minutes, no problem. Hour, 3 hours. I had a guy today in Brandlytics who we're looking at his channel, and I challenged him 2 weeks ago to make a 3 hour long video where he's normally making 4-minute videos, 5-minute videos, 7-minute videos. Make a 3 hour version of it. It's like 3 hours. Nobody's going to watch that. You're crazy. It's like, dude, you're here for a reason. You're here to listen to advice. Take the advice or don't. Let's just do one. And if it sucks, you could say Evan Carmichael made me do it. and he did it. And it came out just 8 days ago. And it's already double the watch time of his average video. Suggested views, which is the game that you want to play on YouTube, is already his number one traffic source. It's already double the revenue from a typical video. And it's going to blow up. I mean, I was shocked that it happened that fast. Usually you're looking at, for suggested, like 30 to 90 day window. For him, it happened after 8 days that it became his number one traffic source. So yeah, long is great. If you know what you're doing, if you're speaking good content, if you've got wisdom to share, I would much rather you go long in a YouTube format than short. But good luck. I love that you're posting. It's awesome. Keep it up. Niall, what do you got?
Awesome. Thank you. Real quick with that, because I want to speak to that. Do you know if that video was edited, or because again, editing down can cut a video down by a third, a half, even more. Do you know if that video was edited? Just get an idea that the long form, if it's going to have those little elements in there. So
his was a mashup. So he took all of his like 4 to 7 minute videos and squished them together into one video. Editing will always help, but it's not better than not releasing a video, right? So your goal should be to train yourself as a thought leader, as an expert, to be able to deliver a 1 hour keynote without needing a whole bunch of editing. Because when you get on stage, you can't say, oh, just edit that out. You're here to do a 1 hour speech. You got to show up and be great and be fire, right? So that's a better skill to teach yourself than to teach yourself editing. So if you can edit it, great, but I wouldn't let that be the reason why you don't post. Like post, get the video up, just take people deeper. Instead of sharing your 3 tips, give them your 20 tips. Mm-hmm. Tell me more stories. And if you can't go that deep, the danger with going long is you say the same thing 18 times because you don't know what else to say. So you're repeating yourself. Don't do that. That's not good. Don't go long just for the sake of long. But if you can take me deeper, give me more advice, treat it as a masterclass, that video, especially long-term, will perform much, much better. People are going to learn. Like think about who you used to be and how many questions you had and what you struggled with. That's the point of Built to Serve is your purpose comes from your pain. You're built to serve. You got a message that can matter, that can make an impact. That person that you used to be would watch an hour video solving that problem. And there's lots of people who are out there. So don't be afraid.
Real quick on that one point, let me ask you, do you we don't script, but do you have an outline and then you go to that, even while it's filming or while it's recording, you look down and then you just edit out the time that you look down and script? I mean, do you have a tip when it comes to that? Because it's one thing to we talk from the hearts, but again, on the point that you don't want to repeat yourself. So, to help keep you in line, what tip do you have there?
So inside Built to Serve is the perfect thought leadership template,
right?
Which walks.
But that's listed.
But that
when
takes
recording
some time to kind of build up to the skill set. But what you could do is I created a like hack down mini version of it that you can do in a couple minutes. You guys want to see it?
I saw that Instagram. Was that IG Live that you did?
Well, I demoed it on IG Live, but we can demo it. I'll show you now. Hold on. We're gonna make it fit on this. Here, this is the sticky pad, and at the top says believe, so it's even cut down. Your script should be here. If you have to script out your whole video, you're teaching yourself the wrong skills, and it's going to take you way too long to make a video. Okay, so step 1, your powerful opinion. So Niall, we're going to make this video together, and hopefully everybody learns in the process. What's an opinion that you have? What's a powerful opinion Niall has that we want to share?
We can gain success through just even one step at a time.
You can what? You can get success one step at a time?
Right. You can gain success at even just one step at a time. Okay.
I'm going to write it down. So that first sentence is what I want you to memorize, right? And you don't have to memorize it here, but when you're making videos, like that's the thing to nail. If you're worried about nailing something, getting it perfect, get the first sentence perfect because that matters. But if you mess up, great. Like start again. It's at the beginning. It's your first sentence. It's not like you mess up 20 minutes in and you got to start from the beginning. Okay. So that already took up, I guess you can't see. I'm like here on the page so far. Okay. Next. We're going to go to a story. And all I'm writing is story dash. So what's a story? I don't need the story. I just need a bullet point like my brother or my wife or high school teacher or some story that you had that you want to talk about getting success one step at a time. What would the bullet point be?
First job out of college.
Great. First job. Now, you could talk to that story for 5 minutes, for 8 minutes, for 10 minutes if you had to, right? So you don't need to have that whole thing scripted out. It's just the first sentence, and you're going to jump to the story and say, hey, when I got my first job out of college, and then it's just a prompt. It's a reminder. Okay. So now we're like almost halfway down this page. Okay. Next, I'm just going to write 3 different points, and I want your 3 bits of advice. So how do I then do it? How do I then go get success one step at a time? What are 3 things that I need to do? Just the bullet points.
Being resourceful.
Okay. Be resourceful.
Persistence.
Open.
And don't be afraid to ask.
And don't be afraid to ask. Perfect. You can't see the points, but like, this is how much it's here, that much space left. This is our script. Like, that's all we need. You can gain success one step at a time. Your story is about your first job out of college, and your advice is going to be resourceful, be persistent, don't be afraid to ask. This is a 20-minute video. And it took us, I don't know, 4 minutes to come up with. And you did it on the spot under the pressure with me watching and everybody else here too. So, you know,
I appreciate it.
But that's it. Like that's your script. So then all of those points you could, if you talk about be resourceful, be persistent, each of those are 5-minute stories if you wanted them to be. So that's where we get locked into. Most people are either scripting the whole thing because they feel like they're going to mess up and they can't get it, or they script nothing. And then they just blank out when the record comes on, like, be resourceful. And it's just like panic attack, right? So this is the good in between. I mean, everybody's got a little sticky note pad like this somewhere. That's your script. And I want you to, and if you practice it, you can get this done in 1 minute instead of the 4 that it took us. But still, a 4 minute to get a script for a 20-minute video is a good use of time, and it gives you a lot more confidence when you're stepping in front of the camera.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
All right. Robert, what do we got?
Well, good to see you, that you're well and spry, and everybody else on the call. Hello, everybody. I wanted to ask you 2 quick questions, and the previous 2 people that were kind of a good segue to what I was going to ask. So what video software are you using, or what do you recommend that's worked well for you? And also, too, secondly, what just can you give us name off some resources maybe where you tap into some of your B-roll when you're making your videos?
So video software, I think we use Adobe Premiere Pro. I have no idea. That's way too complicated for me.
Okay.
I started using Windows Movie Maker. That was my go-to back in the day. And then I learned a little bit about Camtasia. And then that got complicated, and my channel started making some money, so I hired an editor. I don't really care too much about the technology, especially inside of thought leadership. Honestly, I still make videos from my phone. I would just pull up my phone, record. If I was starting over, pull up my phone, walk down the street, no editing, post, next. Because that's how you get better at the skill. Like, you're sitting there in your car, Robert in the car, phone out, just turn it horizontal, and you start recording yourself. If you don't get the first sentence down, delete the video, do it again. And that might take you 10 times to get the first sentence. And then you'll probably get the first sentence. You're like, yes. Okay. Well, now you can't use that. So you, you do it again. But that's worth taking like 20 takes on just to get the first sentence, and then go, right. And then post that video. And I think if you want to add music or whatever, sure. But like, the music's not going to save you if the message sucks. So it's you training you to do it. So that's why I don't care about the editing software at the beginning stages. For B-roll, we use Storyblocks, storyblocks.com. It gives you, there's audio, there's video, and there's images as well. That's what my video editor likes to use. So we bought a subscription. I don't know how much it is. I think there's different tiers and stuff, but it's not very expensive. Again, though, like, no B-roll is going to save you. I wouldn't worry about B-roll in the early days, because you're just going to spend too many hours editing a video, where you're much better to just go make another video. You'll have a lot more success making another video than worrying about editing B-roll inside thought leadership. Cool. Salima, what do we got? Welcome
Hi,
aboard.
Evan. Thank you. I wanted to start by saying thank you for putting this group together. I really appreciate all the work that you do. So thank you for that.
Appreciate the love.
Thanks. So my question was, if you're starting, is it better for the first week to maybe start with 3 videos so you create binge-worthy work, or is it better to just start with 1?
Just start, put it up. Like, I think people overthink the start. Like in the time that you spent thinking about 1 or 3 videos, you could have already released 5 videos.
Okay.
Right. So just like get one up and then do another one and do another one and do another one. And do another. I mean, I just launched 3 video channels, YouTube channels with Brendan Burchard, and we just did the same thing. Okay. First video, when you have your first, you give me 1 video. Okay. We're going to post that one. And whenever the next video is up, we're going to post that one. And you eventually find a routine and a production schedule. But at the beginning, you just need momentum. So just post. Like, nobody's watching them anyway.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, at the beginning, whether you post 1 or 3 videos, nobody's watching anyway. Like, you're talking about binge-worthy content. Nobody's binging on anything at the beginning. Right? So let that be the permission to just post.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's okay to post unedited video, because that's another thing that's kind of keeping me from producing videos and posting them.
Nothing should get in the way of you producing videos, like getting them out, of pressing publish. So is editing good? Yes. But is editing the reason why you don't post? No.
Okay.
Right. I mean, I have a team of editors now. We've got 4 editors, 5 editors. I don't know. I'd have to look. So I mean, mad respect for everything that they do. But if I was starting at the beginning, I think I made a mistake in the early days of my channel. It's partly why it took me so long to took me 5 years to get the 7,000 subscribers, partly because I was spending too much time doing the editing. I just wasn't releasing enough content.
Okay.
So just get it up.
Okay. Thank you.
Good luck. One more. What do we got?
I just have the problem. I wanted to establish a podcast and with video channel, and it turned out I completely overcomplicated. And whenever I planned the content, I had a book with all the information I wanted to put in, and then I messed completely the production up because it was 2 pages of story each time. And I figured out when I spoke to people, it was easy. I have a flip chart here, made just across with a couple of information. It worked fine. But somehow, if I use it for the video, I'm messing up. And then again, if I try to make it easy, then I always have in the back of the mind, hey, that's too simple content, because what's driving me is relationship. It's relationship in business, what it means, helping startups. I can help them getting clarity and everything that are around sales. But as soon as I start taking videos, completely messing up, and that's why I completely failed with the activities. And I'm just thinking, what shall I do? Shall I cut it?
So 2 quick things. When you're looking for a broad message, it has to be simple. Like, if I'm talking about advanced YouTube strategies, that video would suck on YouTube and would just confuse most people, because like, what is this guy even talking about? It's too crazy. So your social content has to be easy to consume, simple stuff. So step 1. And that's great, because that's why people hire you, right? For all of you, you could make money as a coach, as a speaker, as an author, as an expert for the more advanced stuff, so that your beginner stuff gets put up online. That becomes the lead generation for you, that builds the awareness for you. And then for people who want to go deeper and the more advanced stuff, then they hire you, right? They get access to you. The second thing is, 1, you're normal. I mean, everybody would rather speak to a human than be alone talking to a camera in their, office or room or whatever, right? Ultimately, it's a skill that you want to learn and develop. Like, the ability to be by yourself in a room and talk to a camera as if it was a human is a skill that will serve you for the rest of your life, right? In 40 years, when we're talking into VR cameras, there's still always going to be something that's recording you doing your thing. And so it's a good skill to learn now because it'll serve you forever. The other part to it though is if you find it easier to get started, just book a call with somebody. Have somebody who's following you on Instagram to be there on a Zoom call that you're going to give a presentation to. You say, hey, I'm doing a presentation tomorrow about how to XYZ, like whatever you're good at. Who wants to join in? And then you have a Zoom call like this, right? Where like, oh my God, there's John looking at me, and there's Joy and Leslie and Sharon and Rick and Nicole, like they're all there looking at me. So you're actually talking to humans to make the presentation. It doesn't have to be as interactive. It can still be a presentation that you're trying to get for a video, but it's easier to go because you actually see that there's a human on the other side actually paying attention.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. If you want to get a copy of Built to Serve and join us live for our next training with me to ask your questions, you can go get the book right there next to me, right there. I'll see you there. I'll see you to get the book. It's a good one. Much love.